Nothing worthwhile comes easy. Every vineyard has a story out here.
You don't get 50 award-winning wineries without passion, imagination, and hard work.
Texas Hill Country is Texas wine country. It's creative, dynamic, welcoming, and fun.
We're not the old guard.
But we're not exactly the new kids on the block either.
It's a short drive for endless opportunities.
Bring the girls.
We're the boys.
The whole family or just the two of them.
There's never a dull moment.
And you might learn a thing or two.
Don't forget to stock up.
And whenever you're ready to come back, we're just down the road.
See you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Texas Hill Country Wineries.
More and more we're seeing people that are coming here specifically for wine, which is pretty exciting for our region, for our industry.
Every region in Texas does something different. Other wine regions have had 1,000 years to figure out what grows well there. We're trying to do it in a generation or two.
The style of wines that we're able to make here, kind of perfect for Texas.
We have soils here that people in other parts of the world would die for.
It's always been an area where you can grow all kinds of different crops.
All of these wineries have a really good mix of whites, rosés, reds.
We have found great success with Italian varieties.
Sangiovese, some Montepulciano Italian varietals, Viognier, Tempranillo, Mourvèdre, Grenache, Aglianico, Negro Amaro, things that like a lot of sun. And you get a lot of what I think of as soul in the wine.
When people use proper winemaking techniques, there's literally no limit to what we can do here.
People just do a lot of driving here.
We've got the beautiful streams, the lakes, the rivers, the mountains, the hills, and the vistas.
People don't have to worry about having a good time in this part of the hill country.
When you're visiting, you're away from the city.
The summer is a great time to come out and visit wineries. We are making wine this time of year, which is always exciting and fun to see.
For the wine tourists and the agri-tourists, we have outstanding places to visit and for people to enjoy.
As the weather cools down, it's wonderful to spend a whole afternoon out and watch a sunset. And it's a place to find respite.
We have beautiful weather, almost year round.
We've got lots of great hiking paths. We're also home to a bunch of national and state parks, lots of beautiful wildflowers that are native to the area.
If you're coming out to the hill country to have a great wine experience, definitely plan your trip. Really map it out and try something new that you haven't done in the area.
This truly is arm in arm winemaking. It's just a little slice of heaven over here.
We invite you to come see and taste all that the Texas Hill Country has to offer. With over 50 different winery experiences and a world of wines for every palate. Experience and taste the wineries in your backyard. Texas Hill Country is Texas wine country.
All right. Hi and welcome.
What's up?
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Doing great, Jay.
Good.
No complaints.
Good. Well, good evening, Facebook. This is our 17th Hill Country Happy Hour Live. Thank you for joining us. My name is January Weesey. I get to be the executive director for Texas Hill Country Wineries, which is a nonprofit trade association with 60 members here in the Hill Country AVA. If you missed us live and you're watching us later in the evening, middle of the night, you can't sleep, or even later this week, welcome and thank you for joining us and supporting Texas Hill Country Wineries and all of our members. We started these happy hours back in April, not long after our winery tasting rooms were shut down and closed for the original shutdown due to COVID-19. We are still here doing these live events every month. We did slow down a bit for a number of reasons. As you will hear from everybody on the panel later, they have been deep in the middle of harvest, which keeps them busy, and we try not to take their time away from that. And you'll hear more about how they're all starting to reopen slowly with different guidelines, different rules, different operation systems put in place for each tasting room. And so everybody's been really focused on that. So we've slowed these down a little bit, but we are here every month. It's been a really great way for, I think, all of our member wineries and myself and Lindsay, who's on staff with us here at Texas Hill Country Wineries, to just connect and see each other, because I think that we miss each other, right, guys?
Yes.
Yes. But we're going to keep doing this because we have been able to connect with a really great group of Texas wine lovers across the country. And so we will continue these once a month. We will pick up some more in October to celebrate Texas Wine Month, but we'll talk about that later. So each happy hour is a different group of THCW members talking about a variety of topics. And tonight we have a remarkable group of wineries. I love all of these people on your screens, talking about some of their newly released wines. So if you have any questions for the panel, please feel free to drop them in that Facebook comment section, and I will relay that to our moderator, John Rivenburgh of Kerrville Hills Winery, and our current THCW Vice President, and I'm just gonna let him take it from here.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody out there in the wine world tonight? Like January said, everybody on the screen tonight, great friends, great folks. I'm super excited. All good people, all really good friends. Sometimes I wish you could hear the banter before we go on the air, because it's sometimes more fun than what's on the air itself. Killer people. All these folks have been innovators and growers and operators for a long time. I'm very happy and very blessed to call them all friends and colleagues and peers. Tonight we're just going to kind of roll through some great wines that we're all releasing this year, some things we want to talk about, some things we're all interested in, and just share a little bit of our world and what we do with all you guys out there in social media land. I think tonight, given some time constraints, we're going to start with my good friend Mr. Chris Brundrett from William Chris Wine Company. Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit tonight about what you're drinking?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. First of all, it's so great to see everybody out there. I hope you all definitely come out to the Hill Country Wineries. There's so many great places back open, back rocking. Please make a reservation. At William Chris, we have a ton of new experiences going, like a food and wine pairing, library experience, lots of picnic lunches too. So please check us out soon, because we have a lot of cool stuff going, and please make a reservation. But tonight I'm drinking a little Moonlight Mourvedre. This little gin just went out to all our wine club members this week, and it is absolutely fantastic. In fact, I think we only have about 10 cases over the allocation, so I think it will sell out this week if it didn't already yesterday. So Moonlight Mourvedre is all, of course, everybody I'm sure knows that we are Mourvedre lovers here at William Chris. We grow and make quite a bit of Mourvedre. I think we're the number 2 most producer of Mourvedre in the country. We love making Mourvedre. We produce from 9 different single vineyard wines of Mourvedre. This particular one is all from Moonlight Vineyards, owned by a wonderful lady named Peggy Seeley, which she and her husband George, she's been the secretary for our dear friend Andy Timmons, who owns and operates Lost Straw Vineyards, Timmons Estate, La Pradera Vineyards, all those. And a dear friend of mine for a long time. But his secretary came to us about 5 years ago and said, maybe 8 years ago, and said, "Hey, Chris, I want to plant Mourvedre. We're going to plant a couple acres." And to be honest with you, I didn't think a whole lot of it, but she planted it kind of in her backyard next to one of the junkyards in Brownfield, next to Cubs Stadium. Gets old hearts going every time he drives by. And you know what? The fruit, like year one, was like amazing. I'm like, all right. And I don't want to say the only reason I bought it is to make her happy, but we definitely, that was definitely a factor, right? I mean, she's the bookkeeper, the secretary of the guy that controls all the grapes. I'm like, hey, we'll buy a couple of tons here and there. We'll see what happens. So we also buy Cinso out of that vineyard as well. But she and her husband are so detail oriented. The vineyard's kept pristine. It also stays a couple of degrees warmer in the spring with the residual from the city. So it really is a unique place to farm, and I think the world of it. I mean, this wine is delicious. It's smoking. I just wish, I think we only produced about 500 cases of it. I wish we produced 5,000. It's so delicious, so ripe, so supple. I wish it was 2 years older. It's 2018, but it's really fantastic. And we are able to, John, to ferment these in large oak fermenters, and to get a little extended maceration on these is starting to be kind of a calling card at William Chris Vineyards for some of our varieties, including Mourvedre. I hope you guys are all drinking this right now, and definitely check out our wine club and come out and taste our wonderful lot of Mourvedres. Also, definitely check out, I think this week we have a 2012-2013 Mourvedre from Lost Draw on our library tasting, and it is dynamite. It shows what Texas can do. Definitely that's off to all you guys, because I've been in your tasting rooms in the past couple of months, or drank some of your wines the past couple of months, and they're delicious. You guys do a great job, and I'm glad to be on this panel. So cheers, guys.
Nice, man. Thanks, Chris. Hey,
John, I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking about Allan and Ron. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not worried about it.
That's bullshit. I drank your Tanat the other night. It's delicious.
We actually operate a little differently down here. We're really hip and by reservation only. And so you buy a reservation, I mean, you've got to know the guy who lets you in the gate. We're that exclusive. We've been letting some cool people in lately. Nobody on this panel yet, but hopefully here soon, some of you guys will come and visit us down here on the west side.
Bullseye.
Yeah, Chris, I got a question for you on your extended maceration. Do you find that softens out that mid palate and kind of like bridge the sometimes like angular nature of Mourvedre between the mid palate and the finish? Like I love Mourvedre, and I make it. You guys do it really well, and you'll have for a long time. And I've always been really interested to see how you guys bridge so well that mid palate into the finish. Like I think sometimes it can be angular between the front end and the mid palate are generally very, very concise. And then y'all, for whatever reason, has a consistent, like nice, smooth flow between all of the palate senses. And do you think that extended maceration is something that contributes to that, or?
It's definitely a piece. I feel like fermenting in oak is super important, really helps build the mid palate. When I say we do some extended maceration, we do only a very, like maybe 10% of our lots, or 10% of our lots are extended maceration. And then we do like 60, 90, 120 days. And then we'll feather that in. And I gotta give a shout out to Tony, our winemaker. He really, he has raised the bar and continues to do a great job. We work on all our wines together, but he has really done a great job at feathering in, and we do a lot of blending trials. And I tell you what, John, something that a mentality that's changed in our cellar in the past 3 years is we're really blending on texture. We kind of take away aromatics. Our kind of slightly reductive style of winemaking really lends itself to texturally blending for texture. Let's just say that. That's something that we really focus on, texture. And we know that aromatics will come. And I think that those kind of, that trio of factors of fermenting in oak, almost all of our wines are fermented in oak. We obviously all do seed barrel aging and extended maceration. All three of those definitely have a factor in this kind of silky texture that you get. It's very congruent and very fluid, and I feel like very linear, which are all very important factors, and I think that's kind of a signature of most of our wines.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. I'm sure the world out there loves to hear that as well. Thanks for sharing it. I wish we could get a bottle. That would be great. If you ever want to trade some wines,
yeah.
Chris, let me know.
Don't trade with him. Just trade with me.
I'll share with everybody.
That's all right, man. I got Tony's number. Tony's been down.
John would just come to my house and drink it anyways.
That's a true story. I would just come down to Ron's and drink it anyway. Also, man, tonight, Chris, I'm gonna jump over here to Allan and Margaret Fetty, some friends I haven't had the pleasure of talking to in a while, and I'm very happy for them. I understand they made a big move here in the not too distant past, and are very excited about it. So congratulations. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the move that Westcave Cellars made?
All right, thanks, John. I really appreciate the intro. This is our first happy hour, and we have made a move. We sold the property on Hamilton Pool Road. So anybody coming to visit, please make sure you check our website and get the new address.
In Johnson City.
We are in Johnson City off Ranch Road 1320, between Calais and High, Ben Calay's place and William Chris, actually. So we're so excited to be here. We bought a new property. We just opened our new tasting room. We are open as of September 1st. We're full-fledged serving food. We're having barbecued weekends of different varieties of food, pulled pork and brisket sausage. And then inside we have a full commercial kitchen. So we're doing sandwiches and cheese trays and charcuterie trays. So we have the whole food thing going, which we didn't have previously. And it's allowed us to be open, doing full-blown tastings, starting last week officially. And so we're blowing and going and really excited to be open again. We've been closed. We closed for 4 months and then we're officially shut down. So 8 months has gone by that have not been open to the public. So we're really excited to be open again.
And we are starting something new for us out here. We are going to a reservation system as well.
Yep, we have a new reservation
Yep,
system.
so check the website and book through that. We are still taking walk-ins, but it's probably, it's going to be tastings to go out back, glasses out back. And we're just thrilled to have anybody come join us here.
Awesome. Well, we're very happy to have you guys a little closer into the hill country with us, and definitely happy to have you guys on the happy hour tonight. It's lovely to see y'all. And I'm actually pretty interested in what you're drinking tonight. It's something that's a little near and dear to my heart, I think.
Are you a fan of Tanat, John?
Just a little, man.
I've been told that you invented it or brought it from the old world or something like that. So I know it's near and dear to your heart.
For this.
These two guys at the bottom of my screen have been sitting here eagerly waiting for this whole throwdown on tonight. And out there, Facebook world, social media world, I'm gonna give the Fettys the credit where they deserve. They produced in what I understand the very first Tanat in Texas, grown by them.
No. 2007. Up in Dallas.
Dallas Fort Worth. I don't remember his name.
Les Constables was.
Yes.
He had 4 vines in his backyard. I remember.
Well, we did it.
I'm sure. I'm just kidding.
No, but really, no. We did
we have 37. So.
Chris, stop making
37 left after all the freezes, but
when Donna Renee worked for you guys, we did the Texas Tanat versus the world, and she brought down from Dallas a couple of those bottles, 2007 and 2008.
Yeah, 2007, 2008. Les made some of the firsts from his estate there at Brushy Creek. Yeah, there was quite a bit of it was a good wine. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all's was the first commercial Tanat that I had that I thought very highly of, and we were actively in the cellar, already had some going, and so I mean, I didn't invent the hula hoop. I just figured out how to spin it faster with a stick, I guess.
The best metaphor I've ever heard.
Yeah, so thank you, Fetty, for being quick on the draw on that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of vines. We have about 3/4, maybe. We've done some more overplanting. We probably have up to an acre now. about 800 or 900 vines. So it is very small production. It's at the bottom of the hill, doesn't produce a lot. The vineyard was planted in 2008. We did a small bottling in 2010. That was our first. We still have bottles from almost every year that we produced. So this year, what we have in front of us is 2017, which has not been released yet. It's coming out next month. It will primarily go to club, but there will be probably 20 additional cases available to the public. I will tell you, it is something, if you're not a club member, it won't be on a menu. You will have to ask for it when you come in. But a lot of people know that we do produce Tannat, so they're knowledgeable enough to come in and say, can I try your Tannat? This is a very typical Tannat with one exception. The alcohol is quite high, 16.5. So I would give it some more time in a bottle to let it integrate a little more. But it does have that earthy characteristic that our Tannat is known for. It's got all the jamminess and flavors, blackberries and spices, coffee, all the things that we normally have, along with that earthiness, aged in French oak for about 20 months, punch-in barrel. No extended maceration on this one though. But it does good with, we still get really nice color out of it. And the tannins, while not as big as French Tannat, they're pretty firm, and they get softer as the bottles age. Typically when we release the wine, it's always in October. We'll do a vertical tasting with some limited seating. So we'll probably have 4 or 5 years of Tannat from the same vineyard with Westcave Cellars. And we'll introduce this one. And then we also, because like you, John, I'm a fan of Tannat. We have wines from Uruguay and France and California, Tannat going back to early 2000s. So we'll usually do some comparisons with those wines as well to see what the differences are between Texas Tannat and South America and European and California.
When are you gonna plant at your new winery?
I didn't hear that.
Allan, when are you gonna plant at your new winery?
Soon, Chris.
15 acres.
15 acres.
Next to the gun range.
Yeah, right. No. I've already been told I have to leave one row out and have a 20-foot spacing so that the gun range is down the middle between the two blocks.
Take care of your neighbors, man. I mean, it's a neighborly thing to do.
Yeah.
Are your girls for hire in the vineyard, Chris?
Yeah, we need some workers over here.
Yeah. They'll get right on that. You get them to work in the vineyard, you let me know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, we're looking forward to being open. We have a beautiful new facility. Like I said, we're doing food, reservations. We're doing taste and tour experiences. And,
I don't have to share with Allan anymore. He's not allowed in the tasting room.
Yeah. So I stay in my own buildings.
So Allan, you basically have won the winery lottery to not have to be in the tasting room. You get to enjoy all the perks of making wine, loving wine, but you don't have to be in the tasting room. That's pretty good.
That's
Like,
correct. And we have a man cave out there too that I can just hide for days and nobody would know.
Nice.
Oh, Allan, it's not that bad. Don't you love being in the tasting room?
No, I won't let him in because how many times have you seen how he looks when he comes into the tasting room? Everybody thinks he's a bum.
Well, that's called being a winemaker. Last I checked, Margaret, I put my clean T-shirt on for the video today.
See Allan come in off the deer blind too in full camo from his bow.
That's right.
Hey, there's a big black pig that's been running in and out of your fence too. I've been seeing that.
Of them.
If you guys out there and haven't figured it out, Chris Brundrett actually lives next door to. Well, hey man, you're throwing just. He lives next door. He lives next door
somewhere close to Westcave.
I'm gonna put it out now. Chris actually he lives in Kerrville. He just doesn't want anybody to know. He's actually my neighbor.
I know it's got a JC address, but you got to rep some high, man. You're 11 miles from JC, man. We're representing high out here, baby.
Well,
HYE, come on.
We have the High Moon Hideaway, which will be open soon as well. Which is
perfect. So represent that HYE, man. Get off that JC stuff.
Yep.
Oh man, that's good stuff, dude. This is why we do these happy hours, everybody. The Hill Country is a great place. It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to, come and relax, enjoy all the characters, enjoy all the people who work so hard to bring all these fantastic experiences to you via this magical elixir we call wine. So we encourage you guys to come out to the Hill Country, enjoy your time here. Be safe, social distance when you're here, and, abide by the guidelines that each one of these operators is working in. But please come and support your local wineries, because we're all agricultural families working really hard every day to pay the bills and to keep the lights on and to keep bringing wines to you guys out there in this beautiful state of Texas. As we go through here a little further, we're going to jump over to Mr. Ron Yates. Cool Hand Luke, my dear friend. I love this guy. For many years, this guy and I have run the streets. Not so much in the last couple, because I'm getting old. Ron's not. I'm getting old. Ron's still the same age. No, man, I'm getting old. These guys, these two at the bottom are just getting younger. Anyway, we're not gonna go down that road. Anyway, Ron Yates, Spicewood Vineyards, Ron Yates Winery. What are you drinking, man? What do you want to talk about?
I'm drinking a little wine we call the Tandem.
Nice.
We a few years ago, can everybody hear my neighbor's dogs barking? Or is that just me?
No,
all right, I'm gonna have to go inside.
You're good.
All right. So we we'll have to brag on Chris Brundrett a little bit on our love that we found for Mourvèdre, which was, as you guys all know, I'm a Tempranillo guy, true and true. We started tasting some of Chris's Mourvèdres and we're just really enthralled. And then we started tasting some of the Cinsaults and some of the Carignans. In fact, a few years ago, I remember a night that Chris handed me, I was talking about Carignan because I love Carignan so much. And we were at Texom. It was about 4:30 in the morning. And Chris had a plane to catch at 5:30 to go to the High Plains, but I didn't, for some reason, have to go anywhere. So I was still trying to keep him up. He handed me a bottle of Carignan, and then it's one of the first Texas Carignans I'd ever had. And I was like, man, I love Spanish Carignan, but this is delicious. So we went and planted a bunch at Spicewood, and then tried to find some other spots in Texas that were growing it. And so we really, the winemaker Todd Crowell and I decided we wanted to do a Rhone blend. We wanted to do a blend of some of those really great grapes that we're working in the States, and Grenache, Syrah, Carignan, Mourvèdre, which those four we source every year and or grow ourselves. And so every year, starting in 2013, we've just made a Rhone blend, and Todd and I usually agree on, let me say that correctly. I usually agree on everything that Todd makes because he's way better than, whatever. But usually the Spanish and Portuguese grapes are usually eye to eye, like what he's thinking. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. But when it comes to the Tandem, we always disagree, and everybody's always got different ideas on what the blend should be. So of those four grapes, it changes every year. And the fun part is the Tandem bicycle that's supposed to have 2 seats only has 1, and the handlebars face the opposite way because we could never agree. But in 2017, we made this Tandem. This version is 55% Carignan from Bill Day at Buena Suerte. Gorgeous fruit in 2017, as most everybody else's fruit was that year. And then also 45% of the patent block Mourvèdre from the Binghams. And it just, some years this is a heavier blend, some years it's lighter, but this year it's super soft. And I think it's one of the most complex wines we've made. We were doing the tasting notes the other day, and I usually put 2 aromatics and 2 flavors on the tasting menu, and we had a hard time narrowing it down past about 4 or 5 on each one. So it's one of our favorite wines we make. This is the 5th iteration of it, and it just keeps getting better. And it's fun because this is not the wine that when we started growing grapes and making wine in Texas, it was like, Sauv Blanc and Spicewood and Tempranillo, and those were our grapes. That's the wines we wanted to make. And it's fun how getting to know people like you guys. We haven't dipped our toe in the Tannat realm yet, but I'll let you know when you guys have to watch out when we start making Tannat, because it's going to be better than y'all's. But but
bring it on.
Oh yeah. But this is the first.
I think your cellar already.
But this is the first. Like it just shows all the differentiation of Texas being such a huge state. The grapes we can grow in different parts of the world, and a grape that I loved in Spain. 2 grapes that I love from Spain: Monastrell and Cariñena, Morvet and Carignan. They're doing great things in the state, and we learned that from other people, and we decided we were gonna set out to do it. And this has been one of my favorite wines that was not an original plan. Some of those happy accidents. And so this, like I said, it's 55-45 Carignan Morvet, and this will come out to the wine club next Sunday at Spicewood.
Nice.
Hey, Ron, will that ever be served at Ron Yates or no?
No, we don't. We try not to serve any cross wines. I can bring you a couple bottles if you would like.
I'll trade, man.
We try to keep everything a little different. Spicewood really focuses more on, other than the tandem. That's kind of the tandem. We do a High Plains temp. Other than those 2 wines, really the focus at Spicewood is on the grapes we grow ourselves. And Yates is trying to find the best grapes in the state that people will sell us and make the best wines we can from, and let's showcase all the other talented growers in the state.
Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I gotta sign off. I got a bunch of people here. I'm so sorry to cut you short. I really appreciate all you guys. It was so awesome to be on the panel. John, thanks a lot. Ronnie, Allan, Margaret, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Trip soon.
Appreciate it. I wish I could stay and hang, but I'll be at all your tasting rooms soon. Thank you.
Later, man.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Now there was 3. What's that? 4. Sorry. What am I drinking? So I am drinking. I don't just make Tannat. I know a lot of people think that that's the only thing I do. But in amongst all of the endless projects that I have in my life, I do have a wine that's very near and dear to my heart because of some family Spanish heritage. And I also, because of a very close family friend, Mr. Neil Newsom up in the High Plains, I have only been making Tempranillo from Newsom Vineyards pretty much exclusively since my first vintage in 2010. And this is one that we just put in the bottle. We're going to release it for Texas Wine Month. This is 100% Newsom Tempranillo, the old vine off his property, which I don't want to put too much out, but I don't know how long most of this Tempranillo is going to be at Neil's. He keeps, kind of honorably saying he's going to take some of it out, and I keep begging him not to, and he keeps saying he's going to take it out. And anyway, I'm super stoked about this wine. It's the only Tempranillo I make. It's the only single varietal Tempranillo. It's one of 3 wines that we're going to release. It is a little interesting for me to be back on this side of the world. I mean, as several of you on here know, that I spent the last 6 years of my life as a hired gun winemaker, and developer, and all things wine, grape grower, all these different things. And I've jumped back into the arena of winery owner and winemaker. Yes. I still haven't figured out if it was the right move or not, but I'm excited to be doing it. It is fun as hell to be, building a brand, making wines, hanging your hat on your own thing. It is very invigorating. And when you crack open barrels of wine that you made in 17, and what I'm just going to tout on myself. It's like liquid gold, man. It's just like, when you make a wine that surprises you how freaking good it is, that you've done something like special. And we made like 150 cases of this, not a whole lot. That's pretty much going to be my model moving forward. I mean, Kerrville Hills, we've got a cool little co-op like group of winemakers down here. We're going to be doing all small, select, handcrafted wines from small producers. I get to play the circus ringleader, and we're going to just kind of pick and choose the best stuff. And we're not chasing the crowds. We're chasing the quality. I might go broke doing it, but my run on what I started to do back in 2008 when I first got the itch to make wines in this state is I want to make the best damn wine I can. I don't want to make the best damn Texas wine. I want to make the best damn wine, period. And that's my goal. And I'm happy to share this with any of you guys that want to come by. I'm happy to trade wines because I'm so stinking proud of this. And this is a testament to, like, if you grow good grapes, there's not a whole lot of things you have to do to make a great wine. I mean, I know as a winemaker, primarily, I probably shouldn't say that, but when you grow really, really great fruit, it makes really, really nice wines. And I think that Neil and Janice do exactly that. And so I'm super excited to be releasing this along with this Texas Wine Month. We're releasing a Paquette that's made from Petite Syrah and Tannat from the Newsom Vineyard. We're also releasing this Newsom Tempranillo 2017, a 2017 Sagrantino from the Nara Vineyard, which is banging, and a 100% Hill Country Rustic Spur Tannat. That is going to be killer. And Allan, I'd love to get your notes on it too, man, because there's not too many other people that have enough palate to chase Tannat like I do. So yeah, down here in Kerrville, which is a pretty cool spot. We keep getting all these Austinites coming down to Kerrville telling us how hip it is because it's like the best hipster joke ever. It's so obscure, nobody's ever heard of it. And
it's like
so,
Biggie on.
Yeah, exactly, dude. 100%, which is fine by me because Ron, as jovial and personable as I am in person, I'm not the greatest guy behind the bar. I don't really like talking to people that much. I like talking, just don't like talking to people. And so, but no, we're really excited to be doing what we're doing down here, and I'm really excited for everybody on this call. I'm really happy for Chris, man. The success that he and Bill have had this year has been tremendous. You guys, the Fettys, y'all moving west a little bit is super cool. I'm so happy for y'all. I know that's been a big move and something y'all been doing for a while, working on for a while. Ron Yates, it's been way too long since we sat in the same space and shared libations.
You're too busy.
I know, man. I complain, but it's me. So yeah, we're drinking Tempranillo. It's got chocolate and spice.
I'll be there tomorrow to get news. You know how I am about Tempranillo. I'll be there tomorrow to get some of that Tempranillo.
Come on, Ron.
But last Sunday, I finally cracked open one of those Chloe wines.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was holding up, dude. It was holding up.
Look, Chloe's almost as tall as I am now. She's no longer the little baby anymore.
Yeah,
she's
when that was
Yeah, she was a year old when we made that wine. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad to see it held up. That's nice to know.
It was banging. Yeah.
Good. That's good, man. So, Ron, tell me a little bit about Ron Yates. What are you guys doing? Like, what are y'all doing right now? How's it working at your place?
I mean, we're open. That's great. We're doing tastings. I have always kind of been the contrarian with the reservations because, as much as my wife would tell you, I never like to make reservations. I'm more of the fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy, and apparently we can't do that in this new world. So we started taking reservations for the first time for tastings. We're still gonna you show up. If we can't get you in for a tasting, we'll at least get you a table and get you somewhere to sit down and enjoy some wine. But we've got 3 or 4. Actually, we did a tasting yesterday with all the guys about 5 or 6 of the new wines that are coming out, and it's one of those time periods where everything you've got in the barrel, everything you got in a bottle that's coming out, everything you're pouring right now, you're just super happy with. And I was trying to be my glass half empty kind of boss guy yesterday, trying to find something that I was unhappy about to complain to the winemakers, and I couldn't do it. And usually I can find things to complain about, and I couldn't do it over like the next 2 years worth of releases. So it was a good tasting yesterday.
Yeah, I will say right now, I was doing the same thing in the cellar. We were going through kind of building what we were going to come out with in the fall, and then years behind, and we tasted through Tannats from 16 all the way through what will be like 2022 releases from, obviously from this year's Tannat. And man, I was just like, I was kind of walking around like, this is, y'all can, just get ready, because it's just about ready to explode. I mean, we like the 2020 vintage and 2019 and 2018, like I'll take the Pepsi challenge with any wine region in the world with the wines that we've made out of Hill Country and out of the High Plains from those vintages, because where the fruit has been less than from a quantity standpoint in a lot of ways, they've been smoking by a quality standpoint. The Tannat and the Hill Country, it's like 3 years in a row I've had perfect chemistries on Tannat in the Pedernales River Valley. And it's like, at this point I'm going, okay, it's not a fluke. Like we're actually growing world-class quality fruit, like on the regs in the Hill Country. And it's super, super cool.
It's fun to me. Like obviously a year ago at this time, I was pretty unhappy about, we had enough extra fruit that I could have bought an Aston Martin, and I was kind of unhappy about how I was going to pay for it. But in this current situation, I'm really happy we had all the extra fruit. And we revisited some of those barrels a couple of weeks ago, and the 27. I personally have been praising 17 about how great it was, and I don't know, maybe it was just I was trying to figure out how I was going to pay for all the 2019, but I just didn't absorb it with the same enthusiasm that I did with 17. But after tasting through like the Friesen Tempranillo, Friesen Cab, I mean, some of the Morved, some of the Carignan that we've been making from that year, I mean, I think it's going to be every bit as good as 17, and I'm super jazzed. Like and 18 was kind of a lost year for us. A little bit of, I mean, we probably had half the tonnage in 18 that we normally took, just because some of our specific vineyards. But after we bottled probably in July, we bottled most of our 18s, and I'm just starting to crack some of them open. And it's always super pleasing when you're expecting something to be really nice, and you're a little nervous because you put it in a bottle 6 months ago and you hadn't tried it, and you crack it open, and you're like, yes. And
I agree with you guys. I agree with you guys. We're seeing 18s and 19s. We're tasting through all the 18s right now. Finally got all our barrels back on location here. And the 18s are showing, I think, as good or better than the 17s. We're behind in bottling because of the move. But we took on more fruit in 18 than we probably should have. So similar situation. This year was half because of the freeze and the High Plains and stuff. But we're sitting good on inventory, and 18, 19 wines are going to be extraordinary. I think they're all going to be a step up from 15, 16, 17 type wines. So we're real happy about that. We focus on Hill Country. So 70 or so % of our wines are all Hill Country.
Wow.
We don't bring in as much from High Plains. And if we do, it's I generally treat it more as a generic wine than as the Westcave wine. So customers that come in will generally get Hill Country only. And if they're club members, then they'll get estate wines.
Cool. Hey, Allan, what are you guys, what are your programs? What are you guys primarily working with right now at Westcave?
Well, we sold the property over there and leased back the vineyards, so we still have full access.
Oh, nice.
For a number of years, which, traditionally I'm a Cab Merlot Bordeaux style wine. We grow Petit Syrah. We have Malbec and Syrah. We also second source Malbec and Cab Sauv from High Plains. Merlot comes from High Plains. Petit Syrah we're pretty well known for, and that's been really solid the last few years. despite all the cold weather and everything. And then we've really moved in the last couple of years to Italian varietals. So really big in Sangiovese. We have 2 different vineyards we work with. One is High Cross in Sonora, and then one in Wimberley. So that's our hill country. We do Cab Franc from Wimberley, and that usually turns out pretty nice. It's a real small lot, 50 to 100 cases, so it's really small. But the Sangiovese, we do Vermentino for white. We've been bringing in Pinot Grigio. We've been doing Chenin Blanc as a white for a long time. The Viognier, we grow it. It's not as successful in the hill country, but we bring that in from Sonora, High Cross Vineyards also. We barrel ferment all of our Viognier now. And to Chris's point about barrel fermenting wines and giving that mid-palate texture,
It's important.
yeah, our Viognier has really taken a step up the last couple of years.
That's
So we're really proud of that.
We barrel ferment all of our Viogniers and have for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Neutral, all neutral oak, but
Yeah, and whatever we can't fit into barrels, we'll do stainless, and then we blend it all back together. So
nice.
It's been coming out really nice. The 18 Viognier is in the tasting room now. The 19 is bottled. We like to let our Viognier sit. I know some people put it out, in January after harvesting it in August, and usually ours is 6 to 9 months in a bottle before we introduce it. And so it ages well too. We've got Viogniers back 5, 6, 7 years, and it holds up just like Chardonnay. And it's really doing well.
Yeah, that's cool. We actually, the last few years, when everybody went way off on the crisp, bright, sharp green apple kind of methodology, I started making a lot of orange wines. I made this joke last night. I was natural when natural wasn't cool, kind of like the country song. I was country when country was cool. But I made my first 100% skin contact Picpoul Blanc in 2015, and then in 2016, and again, because I really dug what the richness that came from that skin contact fermentation, and then did some barrel aging on it. And man, we just re-released that under my Rivenburgh label, and it's crazy how great it's held up. I'm glad you said that, Allan, because that's a really good note as to like the barrel aging and the structure of some of these wines, these whites, and how well they're holding up to the aging process, which, I came from a school of education where that you just didn't age white wines. And I'm like slowly but surely after all these years learning again that you can. And it's impressive that we're doing it. I think it's going to create a whole nother depth and structure to our wines here in the hill country. On a little side note, if you ever, want to have some of that Vermentino fall off a truck, I know a guy.
We're closer than you are, man. We're closer.
Hey, Ron, I already got my eyes set on the Vermentino you got in the High Plains that I came across this year, dude. So don't you worry, man.
Thanks for that Picpoul. The Albarino though, that worked out for us this year.
You're welcome. See, we take care. See, this is what the consumer world doesn't understand. Like how close we all are and how much we do to help each other. Like Ron was looking for some whites. I came across some whites. I had some extra whites. There's some Albarino, there's some Picpoul, there's a couple other things. Over the years, Allan, I know, grows just fantastic Vermentino. And for years, I've been trying to get my hands on a little bit of it because I've tasted it, I've seen it, I've always known how great it is, and it's one of my favorite varietals to drink. So it's one that I haven't been able to make nearly as much as I wanted. So, yeah.
So one other note, you've probably heard of this. We pulled up the Muscat Blanc, and we planted Claret Blanc.
Yeah, man.
So we got a little harvest this year, so there will be a small sample of that around. Really nice fruit, really interesting grown varietal, and good for blending. But I think it also is potential for single variety.
You need to go down the street to Ab Astris.
Right.
Mike Nelson and I are growing it, and this is our second vintage, a Claire Blanc. We picked Claire Blanc at Ab Asterisk this year. It was like 23.5 bricks and like 3.4 pH and like 6.5.
Is that good?
No, don't grow it. You don't want to grow this stuff. Like this is not for the novice out there. Like this is the stuff. And a crazy.
You don't need a winemaker. You don't even need a winemaker for this.
You don't need a winemaker.
That's why John makes all of his wines. That's a winemaker. Grows great grapes.
I grow good grapes, man. What can you say? I'm a double threat. Mike picked a varietal, and I was like, yeah, that seems like it would work. Like I was trying to talk him into Bourboulon, which is another one of those along that same vein, which I think we'd still love to get planted. But yeah, Mike was all about the Claire Blanc, and my God, it's growing like a friggin' weed. If you get a chance, go by Ab Asterisk. And
I've seen it. Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, it's nuts, right?
John,
Yeah.
we also make great Vermentino. I was just quoted in Wine Enthusiast like a month ago. We also make great Vermentino. We just named it after my niece, Louisa. So nobody knows that it's Vermentino. They know it's that one named after my niece.
Well, that's cooler than Vermentino, man. Come on.
She's pretty cool.
That is much cooler than just
Kara's daughter's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, your sister's cooler than you, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me that.
I've been told that my whole life.
I know you have. I know. This is the wine business. Facebook. This is the wine business. This is what you get when you get a bunch of people who've been friends for a decade, drinking wine virtually away from each other. Thank goodness gracious that we're not all in the same room, because there's Lord knows what would have occurred.
Look how much of this I've drank myself in this time. And luckily my wife is sick, so she's in bed sleeping. So,
Well, you take care of the girls, dude.
Yeah, they're right there. They're waiting for me to go swimming.
You gotta love winemaker dads, dude. Looks like January's.
Hi, guys. I am, and I'm not here to shut you down by any means. I sit here and listen, and I forget to tell people at the very beginning, like a heads up, there's going to be grape deals, there's going to be trash talking, there's going to be all the things with these different groups.
Chris left early. The trash talking was no fun. Chris left early.
I know.
It was awesome. But I just sit here and listen to these personal stories, and I always forget at the end. So I need to put it in my note or something to intro to let everybody know that there's going to be a lot of personal stuff, a lot of these backstories, which are awesome, great deals, and it might go past 7, and that's totally fine.
I mean, I got a little more wine to drink.
You guys can continue, of course, but I just wanted to jump in and kind of reiterate what everybody is talking about. You guys opening all of these personal deals that you guys are talking about, and the Tanat stories, so great. And I just want to make sure that our consumers know that you guys are accessible at your wineries on a regular basis. So everybody is listening to you talk about all of the details and, all of the info on these wines, and John and Ron and Margaret and Allan are all, and Chris, of course, who isn't on my screen anymore, are all at these tasting rooms on a regular basis. And so when you go and you see these faces, you just make sure that you remind them that you saw them on this Facebook Live and heard these stories, and you want to know more.
No, you may not be able to tell who we are. We're all wearing masks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that's right.
I got long hair. Most people can tell me.
That's what I remember.
I'm catching up to you.
Yeah, you are.
Oh my gosh.
But where's the beard, Allan? Where's the beard?
Can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm probably twice your age, so it's gray. It's silver.
I got them. They're coming in.
It's
silver.
Wait, no, it's not gray.
It's silver.
It's Arctic white.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, well.
It's all Margaret.
That is from our taste room manager, Whitney Clement.
And I also, this is I'm getting more like John on this one.
Well,
forehead.
this is what
I will never catch up to that.
this is what
Luckily for
this is
me,
what this is what a whole bunch of kids and a whole bunch of clients will do to you right there. You want to. This is what.
I thought it was having teenage girls.
Oh, I don't know yet. I'm not quite.
He's not there yet.
He's not there yet.
There's Ron.
These are
I've
young
got a
guys.
boy who's not the door of being a teenager, and I tell you what, yeah, teenage boy. I'm right there.
Yep, you're in trouble.
I told him the other day, if I catch one more eye roll, it'll be the last eye roll he did of the day. That was for sure. I'm not advocating violence towards your children or anything, but I was certainly going to make him pick up rocks for a few hours outside. That's for sure. Yeah. Anyway.
Ron's going to be in the same boat as the Fettys, though, with 2 teenage girls at the same time.
Chris too. Chris has 2 girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, the story about our girls, because they had to work in the vineyard because we gave them a certain amount of money for their clothes and their shoes. And if they wanted the really expensive stuff, they had to work in the vineyard. One absolutely refused to do it, so she shopped at Target the whole time. The other one did it for a while, and then she went to go work at Abercrombie and Fitch.
Worked at Abercrombie and Fitch in 1997.
Oh, that's when our daughter worked there.
Yeah, at Barn Creek Mall.
Yeah, she was there.
I wouldn't really call. I really wouldn't say what I did work.
Were you one of the models standing outside?
Ron was the ab model out front.
I thought so.
Well, I am an advocate for working your teenage daughters in the vineyard because that's what I did. That's what my sister did. And it is the best thing that has happened to us.
Well, my daughter, during the first shutdown, we were concerned about, hi, Mom, if you're watching, we were concerned about my mother not adhering to social distancing. So we all went and stayed at the ranch, and we went to watch cattle getting worked one day. And my daughter was really unhappy because the ranch manager wouldn't let her, take care of the the bulls. And she didn't really understand. So that was a fun conversation I had to explain to her about what they were doing.
Well, just to let you know, they won't have anything to do with the vineyard or the winery except to bring friends and say, Mom and Dad own it.
Yeah, they don't want to inherit the winery, so we're spending their inheritance. And they don't want to work in the winery or the vineyard or the tasting room.
Lindsay does. Lindsay, our daughter here in Austin, does work in the vineyard. Work in the tasting room.
They do like to say my parents own a winery, though.
But we're spending. We really are spending their inheritance.
Give them a few years, and they'll be like, after they're in the professional world for 10, 15 years, they're gonna come back and be like, hey, so we really would love to be in the wine business, and we did, and you guys can tell them like, no, I'm sorry, we've hired this great manager.
It's too late.
So Margaret and Allan, I shouldn't be giving you parenting advice because you guys are way ahead of me and done an amazing job. But my dad used my wedding. He threw it at the winery and used the wedding to fix up the winery grounds. So we got a brand new lawn. We got a whole new driveway, all the things that he ever wanted to do got done because of our wedding. So there's an in that way.
Glad you got married.
So we had a winery wedding with our daughter number 2, except it was in Seattle.
She lives in Seattle. She lives in Seattle, but they went to a winery and had it there instead of coming back to Texas.
I said, but we own a winery. You could have it at a winery in Texas, and it would be much nicer
and a lot cheaper than paying for one in Seattle. Yeah.
Well.
So,
anyway, that's what you get.
So January, a lot of people don't know this, but I did business with January's dad in Northern California for a number of years, and he's a hell of a guy. And
Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Business,
yeah. It's Northern California. You know what I mean? Something's got to be the winery, Ron. We can't. I digress.
Yeah.
I can see January's dad putting down the new lawn for the wedding at the winery. Yeah,
for sure.
like that's a smart move. That's a Rivenburgh move. That's definitely, you could have it here, but we're going to invest all of that money in fixing up the winery so that way it's beautiful for you. Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't think that won't be a Ron Yates move when the two girls.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I just
you had to do it twice, Ron.
I told him you can get married anywhere in the world you want to, but if you want me to pay for it, it's going to be at Spicewood Vineyards.
Love it.
Well,
yeah, y'all are cut from the same cloth as my dad.
Yeah, we tried that one, Ron. Let us know how that works out for you.
Well, we'll have to revisit this Zoom in 15 years whenever.
I can tell you exactly how it's going to work.
Yeah, it'll be 15, 18 years.
They're going to do something stupid like agree to have your wedding at Spicewood Vineyards and then want Robert Earl Keen to be there to play your wedding. Wait, that was me.
That'll be. I wish Chris was still on here, so I'd love to have his input on it too.
Yeah, his two girls.
His two girls.
Actually, Ron, there was a comment that somebody loves your stories about Robert Earl Keen on the Facebook comments.
I have some good stories. I lied to my parents a lot about driving to. They were like, "You can't drive to Austin from Marble Falls," and I was like, "Well, cool. Bee Cave's not Austin," and back then the Backyard used to exist, and Lukenbach still was a pretty vibrant concert venue. And back then you could have a little piece of paper if you were underage that you write on it said, "My mom said it's okay for me to drink," and the bartender would be like, "Cool, here's a beer." So it was fun growing up in the Hill Country.
Yeah, it doesn't suck. That's for sure. Yeah, you know where Mr. Robert Earl lives.
You could do that, kids. Not that.
Yeah, my kids are not listening.
Against the law.
You do know where Mr. Robert Earl lives, right? Like he doesn't live in High Texas. He doesn't live in Austin.
He lives in England.
He lives in Kerrville. He lives in Kerrville.
Ingram.
He would never admit he lives in Ingram. I trust you. Yeah, he may say Hunt, but he's
there. You go. That's what it is. Hunt. Yeah.
Oddly enough, and January knows this, and I don't know if everybody else knows this, but I'm gonna be a dad again of another little girl, and so I will be in the 2-girl club.
Oh, girl! I didn't know that. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So
come we'll drink to that.
You have 2 daughters in a winery. That's suicidal.
Yeah, 2 daughters in a winery. Yeah.
Boy.
That's suicidal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what the hell?
Nobody ever called it smart.
Would God taketh care, he giveth in exuberance. You know what I mean? So at 45,
I have no exuberance.
No, you do. You're good. You're good. We know it's going on.
Are you up for the late nights? Well, I guess no. You're a winemaker. You're up for the late nights anyway.
Oh yeah, no. I'm honestly. I help. No sleep. I never sleep. Sleeps for second place. I don't do that. Yeah, the first loser. What is it? Yeah, like my cook. Yeah, anyway, whatever. So we help. Speaking of harvest still going, we've got we help Barbara Lequona at Siboney with some wines, and she's been making some wines with us here up on the hill in Kerrville, and she informed me right before we went on the air that she is exhausted. She's been in the high plains, and she's decided to drive her truck and trailer back with like 8 tons of fruit on it. And so I will be here till, and I am, you never leave the tasting room. I'm here in the tasting room, and I will be here at the winery till midnight waiting for my good friend Barbara to get here so I can unload her truck and trailer, because I know she'll be too tired to drive the forklift. So that is the life of a winemaker. It's glamorous, paparazzi, beware, don't come take pictures. It is super sexy and glamorous. We don't sleep. We eat horribly. We drink probably more than we should.
Road food.
Yeah, the contrary to popular belief, we have no money, and we are not very much fun to be around. But we make great product that you guys should all come and share in the libations of.
I would say we're all fun to be around.
Hey, don't you know why Allan's added the brewery to our list?
Why is that?
It takes a lot of beer to make wine.
Takes a lot of great average beer to make great wine.
I don't drink.
Cold and paid for by somebody else is the best beer.
That's a true statement.
Free beer is the best beer.
Yeah, I grew up not ever hearing average beer or good beer. It was just a lot of beer to make good wine.
Great
Well,
wine.
It's constantly on tap. It's constantly on tap here.
And I can drink to profits real easily.
Oh God, I love this business. I'm so glad I don't do it else. I'm telling you. People ask me all the time, like, what would you do if you weren't a winemaker? What do you do when winemakers retire? And I mean, my first joke is that I'm gonna become a cardiologist because that's what they retire. And the doctors never like that joke. It's like, what are you gonna do when you retire? I'm like, I'm gonna become a cardiologist. What else? I'm already
when I retire.
already are a lawyer, Ron. Yes.
No. Yeah.
You have a degree in law. You're not a practicing lawyer.
Okay, now our joke about being retired, because I'm a former teacher. Re is a prefix that means again. So we're already retired. We're retired again and again and again.
My job is kind of like a retirement.
A lot of fun though.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you get to meet a lot of good people and tell stories, and every day is a new day. Something happens and you get to fix it or make it better.
Yep. I've got a lot of good friends from the last 13 years of doing this, and like 7 of them still talk to me. It's amazing.
7?
A better record than the previous 30 years.
7? Really? 7? Wow.
I don't count you as one of them though.
I mean,
I'm
surprised that there's that many because I
was going to say that's 5 more than I have.
That was including my wife and both kids. So really 4 people.
Yeah, that's family though. I was talking friends. Like I think like there's maybe, well, Reagan counts.
He has to though. I pay his paycheck. He has to hang out with me.
He doesn't have to hang out with me. He's actually come and seen me. Actually, you have too. That's not true. You've been in you've been down here also.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's like 3, except for the crew I hang out with every day, making wine. Anyway, but it's like running into old friends. You guys can get it. We can get on the internet. We can all get in the room together. And, it's like we just saw each other a couple of days ago, and we can reminisce about all the fun things that we do to bring this great product to the world. And, I'm sorry, but here's to really setting Texas on fire, guys. I mean, we're making some killer wines. My friends out west, I still have some connections out west in Washington and in California. And I'm just going to say it. They're jealous. I hope they're listening because they're realizing what we're doing here. And it's inspiring. It's inspiring to have my Cali friends be like, so what are you guys working on right now? Like, what cool things are y'all doing? So what's it like no, it's badass. That's what it is. It's awesome. It's great. And it's fun to see them start to realize like, oh man, these guys in Texas are really, really onto some cool stuff that we should probably start to pay close attention to. So there it is.
So why do you think all the people from California are finally moving to Texas, Central Texas?
They're coming to meet John.
Yeah, they're coming to get great Texas wine.
Rivenburgh. They're like, is Rivenburgh? We heard this Rivenburgh guy. No, it's the tax base. Come on, it's the state income tax. Let's be honest. I'm still a business guy. At the end of the day, don't let the jovial laugh fool you. I'm still a business operator. So yeah, no, we love it. Everybody loves it. Every year we get better and better. And every year, like our crews all keep making better and better wines. And, I think it's the synergies between us that, keep us growing together and growing stronger and making better stuff. And I mean, like, look, Ron's wearing a Dega Vino shirt. Those boys over there, they're doing some good stuff. They're working hard. Like I've got a Rustic Spur shirt on from Vintner's Hideaway. These guys are great family friends and killing it, and, it's cool. Allan,
I think you're hitting a nail on the head. I think that the cool thing is, and you and Allan and Margaret and January as well, all 5 of us have been involved in this organization and this industry for a long time. And 7 or 8 years ago, it was fun because we made it fun and we enjoyed what we were doing, but people weren't really giving us the time of day yet. And the last 3 to 4 to maybe 5 years have just been transformative with with what's happened. And I would like to, you know, I don't want to be braggadocious, but I would like to think that there's a good bit of us that had a lot to do with what's happening right now. And, you know, I continue to hear stories from friends that like, I haven't been to the Hill Country in 6 months, and we drove down 290 and there were 72 more wineries. And I you know, there, which is amazing. I think that the fact that we're growing like we're growing is fun, but it's part of my relish and my happiness of what we're doing has been being part of their 13 years ago when I went to my cousin Ed Aller, who owns Fall Creek and one of the more successful winery owners in the state. And my father and I said, well, give us some advice. And he said, don't do it. And I was like, well, give me some advice if I'm going to do it. And he said, don't do it. And, you know, and now here times have changed. And, you know, 12, 13 years later, I'm really glad I was early to the party.
Yeah, I would call this the epitome of an emerging industry and the epitome of startup companies. Every one of us are literally startup companies. I mean, I worked in the tech industry and 4 different startups with venture capital, and it's a different type of thing. But this is absolutely an emerging industry with so much creativity and people working together and sharing. There's no hiding of secrets. There's progress being made so quickly. We're going to do in Texas in 20 years what took them 50 or 70 years to do, and what it took, you know,
California,
50 or 70 years. We're going to do it in 20 years, and you know, France or Europe, it took 500 or 1,000 years, and we're going to get it done, and we're going to be way up there, world class. I mean, we already are world class, but we have a lot of things to learn and progress to make, but it's happening so fast. And if you were in 10 years ago, you were probably stupid. And if you're still in it, you're probably still stupid. But if you're really up for a challenge and you want to do something that nobody else is doing, this is the place to be.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'd done a couple of, you know, I went to law school, was in the music business for a while, and nothing was I don't know, nothing has been as fulfilling as people telling you like, what are you doing? Don't do this. To 13 years later, like, it may be difficult, and wine, you know, that the perfect example of COVID is wineries always have to pivot always. Like, oh, we had extra fruit this year, we had more fruit this year. We're always dynamic, we always have to move. But it's just the fun that I still continue to have, and 13 years into what we're doing just makes me happy. I mean, I've got lots of buddies that are very successful, way more successful than I am, but they're doing things they hate. And, you know, I can't imagine waking up every morning and getting out of bed and going, ugh. And I get out of bed and my first thing to do is like, thank you. I get to go out and make wine every day and be at home in my state and be a part of an emerging industry and be an early adapter to it and get to do it. And I feel very lucky about that every morning.
Sorry, John. I just want to jump in here and convey this again to all of our viewers that are watching who are not industry members. I see Seth from Wedding Oak is on here. And I'm sure there are a couple of other industry members on here as well. But that's exactly what this Texas wine industry embodies, is working together, setting new records, trying new things, experimenting. That's one of the things that we tell consumers all the time is you can come out to the Hill Country and taste wines, you know, from all these different varietals that are grown across the world. But these guys here are experimenting with them. They're trying new things, and then they're working together on them. So we have these, something that consumers don't know that we do as an association. We host these grower tailgates, and well, my dog wants to go out. Grower tailgates and winemaker tastings, and growers from across the Hill Country and across the state, and winemakers as well, get in a room and get to share their wines or their best practices, and they talk with each other about what's going wrong with this wine or what's happening in my vineyard, and they all work together and really, you know, try to help each other. What is that? Rising tide lifts all boats. I mean, that is what this industry really embodies. And so I hope that consumers can see that from watching and listening to your stories all night long.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to me how the friends I've made in this industry, how supportive they've been in enduring adverse times, in times of feast and in times of famine. I've had folks that have stayed close to me and in my friendships. And I've had friends tell me they can't believe I help people when I help them, even though I probably needed the help. But that's what you do, right? Like that's what this is all about. That's what this industry is about. That's what, you know, growing a product and turning it into another product and then sharing it with the people around you is about. It's about friendship. It's about family. It's about the cohesive nature of the products that we make and the people that are in it. I mean, it blows my mind that I'm going to get to be the president of this organization again for the, twice. Yeah, actually two, I don't know how many times, twice. Yeah. Thank you, January. See, she's smarter than I am, twice.
Well, yeah.
John, just let you know, I'm not going to be the president of Twigga this time.
No, I know.
Oh, you guys were
you're not, never mind. We're not going to go. Yeah, I know this. I know that.
So does that mean that he's available to be the vice president of THCW?
I think Allan's looking for that job.
He is. I've already started.
I served my time on that.
January. I've already started working on my succession plan with the board. So don't you worry. You know me. You know that there is a 3-year plan in place. If I come into something, you know there's a 3-year plan in place. It's not just one and done. So, but it's amazing to me that in my second time doing this, like when I first got involved in this organization, there were only 13 wineries in this organization. Like and it wasn't that long ago that there were only 13 wineries, and we're now up to what, 62, 72? I should know this answer.
It's okay. We're at 60 right now. Mm-hmm.
60. Okay. We're at 60. Like
what a good number. What a good number.
In a decade, we went from 9 to 13 to 27 to 60. Like in my board stints, that's where we were. It was like 9, 13, 27 when I left one year, and then now we're at 60 coming back. That's mind blowing that we're growing at such a rate. And like, you know, it's cool for me to not know everybody. You know, it's neat and it's interesting. And I'm so excited
about that. I used to know I used to walk in the wine show meeting and I knew every person, and now I walk in and they're like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah, who's that guy with the opinions? Like
and then you lift up your pant legs and you're like, "Do you see these boots with the grapes on them?" That's all you have to say.
Let's be honest. I don't wear boots that often.
Yeah,
but those
Ron's kicking flops or some toms. He's not a whole lot of rubber boots in Ron's life. But that's okay. It's still knows what he's doing.
Those rare.
Oh no, I'm talking about his cowboy boots.
And they're amazing. They're great boots. But it takes that special occasion for me to put those grape.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, dibs on those, Ron.
I have been on a couple of those special occasions. We'll save those for another Zoom conversation. We need to do an adult.
Or offline Zoom conversations.
We'll do a non-official Hill Country Wineries Zoom conversation. We'll lay it all out there for the world. My family just walked through the door of the winery looking for me because that's how awesome they. So
it is 7:20.
I have to go home. It's an hour drive home. I got to go walk my furry babies.
Guys,
thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Ron and Chris, who we missed for this last almost hour, Allan and Margaret, and thank you for moderating, John, and thank you for everybody viewing. Please check out on the THCW website, texaswinetrail.com. There is a resource for what wineries are open. Oh, hi.
This is my buddy. What do you like to do in the wine? You hear him? Say it again. What do you like to do in the winery? Drive forklift. Out. Drive forklift. First thing he says when he comes to the door, JJ, drive forklift. Sorry, JJ.
No, it's okay. That is it. That is the nature of our business. It's family run. It's family operated. It's bye. All about the next generation. Drive forklift. You go do it. You tell John.
Also about driving forklifts. We drive a lot of forklifts. Something I did not learn in law school, how to drive a forklift.
Or don't learn that.
That's it.
All right, you guys,
Have a
visit
good night.
TexasWineTrail.com. Check out our resource for what wineries are open, what they're offering now. It'll help you plan your visits. Come see them. They're ready to see you in their tasting rooms, and we really miss everyone. Please join us back here in October. We'll actually be here twice in October, celebrating Texas Wine Month, October 1st and October 22nd. We're going to kick it off and somewhat close it out with a couple new wineries, new topics. And until then, we hope to see you out here, and please sip and stay safe, Texas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.